Now this DMVPN is one of the commonly used VPN, especially to connect multiple sites. So basically, let's say you got a head office and I want this head office to be connected to multiple sites. As I said, we can use different types of VPNs. DMVPN is one of the commonly used one. Now again, before DMVPN, we generally Cisco introduced something called GRE. GRE was point-to-point basically, and again it is not scalable because if you are using GRE, then we need to have a separate point-to-point connection for each and every site. So which means if you have 100 sites, so basically you have to end up creating 99 tunnels on one single router. So that's the reason we use something called DMVPN. Now in DMVPN, that drawback has been overcome. Like even if you have 100 sites, let's say I got 3 sites here. So if I want to connect these 3 sites, I'm just going to create only one tunnel. Let's say tunnel 0, one logical interface. And this logical interface can be connected to multiple sites. So basically it can be 3, it can be 300 as well. So I can connect to hundreds of sites by using one single logical interface. So that's what the main benefit, that's what the name itself suggests. It's a multi-point VPN which allows multiple sites to be connected. I can say it's like a full mesh. You can have a full mesh connection, like all the 100 sites can be connected to each other by just one logical interface. And these tunnels are built dynamically. So the name says dynamic means you don't need to manually build or tell that you have to establish a connection from here to here. They can be built dynamically with the help of some protocols like NHRP. So there are 2 main protocols. We'll talk about this. The multipoint GRE. Multipoint GRE is a protocol which allows you to build a point-to-multipoint connections. So we are not using GRE. The normal GRE is point-to-point. But in DMVPN implementation, we'll be using a multipoint GRE which supports point-to-multipoint connections. And another protocol is NHRP, Next Hop Resolution Protocol. And this protocol is responsible for dynamically discovering the neighbors. Like I said, dynamically it will establish the tunnels. To do that, it has to discover the neighbors. And that dynamic discovery is done with the help of NHRP protocol. Okay, so that's what DMVPN in short. It allows a multi-point connections or multi-point VPN connections, which and dynamically it can discover the neighbors. Now another major advantage of the DMVPN is we can have a dynamic IP addresses on the exit interfaces. So which means, let's say I got this head office, and this head office should be connected to these branch offices on the right side, and I can connect over internet, any network. Basically we use internet here. So if you're using internet means you need to have a public IP, because when you are trying to connect remote sites, the exit interfaces of the router has to be a registered public IP. So again, in public IP we can get either a static public IP or the dynamic public IP. Now static means this public IP remains the same, it will not change in general, whereas dynamic public IP generally changes depending upon the DHCP server assigning the IP from the service provider to the customer. So again, depends, the customer may be getting a public IP either static or dynamic. So you can reserve one public IP permanently by paying to the service provider, or you can still have a dynamic IP as well. But the problem is, if you're using dynamic IP, if this IP changes, then there is a possibility that the tunnel may go down. So this was the case with GRE, because with the case of GRE you need to have the the public IPs used on the exit interfaces need to be static. But whereas here on the spokes, basically here we can have a dynamic IP, but the hub need to have a static IP. So we can still the dynamic tunnels can be established even if you're using dynamic IP on the exit interfaces of the spokes. So generally the centralized router we call it as hub, and the sites we call as spokes. So the spokes can have a dynamic IP, so that is the advantage. So it's not compulsory that every remote site must have a static IP. So the main advantage of DMVPN is it will keep the customer cost very low. Let's say I got a customer located in different locations, like in India, and maybe and I've started a small setup or a small business with my friends, basically let's say in Dubai, US, maybe in UK, and I want to connect these sites. So as they are spanned over different countries. So if I'm going with a dedicated line or some kind of WAN connection from the service provider, it's going to cost me a lot. So I can still connect these sites by paying to internet. So you have an internet connection, of course the public IPs, and you can build your own WAN connections you can build your own WAN connection with a minimum cost. Again, this is something we have to maintain. So it's not like the service provider will provide this for you. So this is more like a WAN connection which is being built by the customer only, and we generally maintain this. And also with a minimum configuration, even if you have hundreds of sites, we can still establish a full mesh connection between all the sites with a minimum configuration, and also with a minimum complexity of the configurations. And also it provides you the flexibility and scalability. As I said, even if you have 100 sites, you can still scale. Even if you have 200 sites in the future, also you can still use this concept. And also it provides you the flexibility, like let's say if you are moving any configurations or moving the devices, adding the devices, with a minimum configuration you can make those changes. So this makes the DMVPN as one of the commonly used WAN connection specifically. Of course, natively it doesn't support encryption. That is one limitation. We can overcome that with IPsec. I'll talk about more on this.